All right, take two on a Tackle Tuesday. The first one, I forgot to put pauses in there for us to put catch clips on there.
I'm a whiskey drinking SOB. If you don't like that, then you won't like me. I'm an outlaw. I said I'm an outlaw.
So anyways, we're back at it. Another Tackle Tuesday coming in for you. I apologize about last week. We took off, we went on vacation, and we left on Sunday, didn't come back till Tuesday night. So I wasn't here with the tackle, stuff like that, to be able to post something. But I'm gonna make up for it today. Today's Tackle Tuesday, we're gonna talk about crankbaits. We're gonna go from shallow runners to a mid runner to a deep runner. And then I've got another one here that's an in-between that we'll just, kind of talk about. We're gonna start it off with shallow runners. This is my very favorite shallow runner right here. This is a baby Mann's 1-. This guy is awesome. It's floating crankbait. You throw it out, it floats until you start to retrieve it. When you retrieve it, it takes off and goes under. So how I fish this guy is, if you rip this guy in, you cast it out and rip it in on a fast retrieve, it's gonna dip down probably 2.5 to 3 foot deep. So it's ideal for fishing sunken timber, sunken hydrilla beds that are under, got about 2 to 3 foot of water above them. And it's a great catching bait. I've caught a ton of fish on this. Like I said, my way of fishing it, I'll throw it out, let it sit for a few seconds. We're talking 5 to 10 seconds. 5 to 10 second area. I'll start retrieving it back nice and slow, which in turn is going to make it start to dive, and it's got a nice little walk to it. I've never had to adjust your front eyelid up here to make these Manns run straight or have a good wobble to them. So in turn, that tells me they're a quality ass bait. But I'll start retrieving it out slow. It's got rattles in it, and I'll go maybe a turn and a half on my reel, and then I'll give it a jig, a yo-yo, whatever you want to call it, to me. And as soon as I stop that yo-yo, I stop reeling, and I let it sit for, again, maybe 5 to 15 seconds, and then retrieve again. And I'll do my retrieve for about a good 30 seconds or so, and then do my yo-yo again. Typically on this bait, what'll happen is when you yo-yo it, it will dig a little bit deeper and it will rattle. Excuse the airplane. Back to what I was saying. You retrieve it, you yo-yo it, it'll dig a little bit deeper and it'll rattle because it speeds up. And when it does that, and you give it that pause, that bass just comes up and eats this guy down. So it's definitely it is my favorite shallow runner crankbait. I use nothing but Manns for doing shallow runner. Typically use white or bone colored or the baby bass, or sometimes I've got some, I think I have 1 or 2 that are white with a little bit of chartreuse on them, or silver with a little bit of chartreuse, but definitely awesome fish catcher. Well, he's gonna have to stay on the floor while I unhook him, because I can just see that bait flying up and hit me in a goddamn hand. Yeah, that's a pretty nice fish for out here. A big-bodied fish for only being 2.5 pounds. Considering my best out of here is 3.5 pounds, and it was about same size fish, body wise. We should have caught a fish by now. Like that. God damn it, I'm tangled up in the fucking tree. He's little, but he counts as something.
Damn it, that's bigger than mine. so happy I didn't bet on it.
He's little, but he counts for something. Second thing we're going to talk about is just your regular old lipless crankbait, otherwise known as a rattle trap. Pretty much everybody makes them. This is a KVD right here. Strike King KVD, not exactly sure on the name, but it'll be linked in the description. Well, we got this one here. It's a chartreuse with a little black stripe on it. Just about every bait maker, hard bait maker, has a version of the lipless crankbait, rattle trap, whatever. They have tremendous amount of rattle in them. This one here is going to be a cotton Cordell. This one here is going to be your KVD. Rattle Trap makes one. Like I said, everybody makes one. I can't think of names off the top of my head, but everybody makes a lipless crankbait, and it's just a preference. I like this one because it's a little bit wider and a little bit deeper bellied, runs different in the water. This particular, the cotton Cordell style, I tend to troll these a lot versus casting them. You can cast them. Not saying you can't. It's just this is my preference for casting. This is my preference for trolling. This is my preference for casting. If I'm casting this guy, I'll throw it out, give it a few seconds to set, a few seconds to sink, whatever. These run typically between 6 to 8 feet deep, and I'll retrieve it basically the same way I retrieved that Mann's, except this guy doesn't float. So what it's going to do is when you pause it, he's just going to kind of sit there and sink down slow. So anyways, I'll bring it in and then give it a nice good yo-yo or jig, and it'll speed up and go like crazy, and then pause it, and it just sits there. And again, that bass can't resist it, man. They're just gonna come up and suck it on down. So there'll be a couple of these guys linked in the description below, a couple of different brands. And then the next one I'm gonna talk about here is gonna be a large build crankbait. This guy's for getting down into pretty good depths. This one's got a knocker. It doesn't have a rattle in it. And again, this is another Strike King bait. I cast these, I troll these. I like to troll these to get down in that depth and get to those bigger fish that are sitting further down on the water column. Same thing pretty much as the Mann's. This guy should float. So you cast him out, let him sit there for a second, retrieve him down, give him a yo-yo or two, cast it down, let it sit for a second, let it pause. It should start working his way back up. And after it gets that knock, 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 knock from that speed up, again, man, he should just chomp it on down. If you're trolling this guy, I troll it behind my bass boat. I throw it out about the length of the bass boat, which is about 18 feet. Click it on down, lock it down, and go. And I give it an occasional yo-yo at times to speed it up and give it that thok, 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 thok. But, they just can't pass this thing up. And again, there's several manufacturers. Here's 2 different colors right here. This is a sexy shad. This is a pearl white. Can't beat it. And then, of course, if you want to go, I don't know if I said it or not, that guy that I just showed y'all, these 2 bigger ones, they run at about a 12 to 18 foot water column. So, again, this is for that nice South Texas summer bass that's sitting down in the deeper spot on your lakes and stuff like that. This guy will grab them. And then, of course, you've got other build crankbaits like this one that you can see here has a tremendously smaller bill. He won't go as far down depth-wise, but with this smaller, wider bill, he's going to get a tremendous amount of wobble on your retrieve. Doesn't sound like this guy's got any rattles in him, but I've caught a lot of fish on this one. In fact, I've caught a 4-pound bass on this guy. I don't have any video of it. I went fishing with 2 friends of mine, and we were fishing on a dam on a golf course lake, and I pulled a 4-pound bass out with this guy here on the very first cast off the dam. So I can't complain about this guy here. This big bill gives you a nice sexy wobble through the water. So I don't have any catch videos on the bigger baits, but I've got some on the rattle trap. I'll go ahead and put that guy right here. Hey, I got fish. Not a big one, but it's a start. Yep, not a big one, but better than none. Damn, I got a fish as soon as it hit the water. He's gonna spit it before he gets here though. Another one about the same size as that last one. Yeah, about the same size as that last one. And you know, that pretty much wraps it up for Tackle Tuesday this week. I know it was quick and in depth, so if you got any questions, throw it down in the comments below. Like always, guys, don't forget to comment, don't forget to like, and if you like what I'm doing with these Tackle Tuesdays, if you want me to talk about some baits, whatever, man, just leave me a comment down below, man. Let me know that you're watching. Let me know what you're thinking about this stuff. And as always, man, if you like the fishing trips, if you like the hot rods, we got a whole lot more cool stuff coming up in the fall. So you know, if you like it all, man, hit that subscribe button and follow along. We're at about 415, I think, subscribers right now. We hit that 500 mark. I'll do another Bass Pro giveaway card. Bass Pro gift card giveaway. There we go. I got it out. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. So check out this video over here. Check out that video over there, and hit that fish right there for the subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell either, so that way you get the notification. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all watching. See ya.